right, welcome back to the Hypervision Podcast, episode 7. Thanks for tuning in with us. We got a good one in store today. We're not sure where it's going to go. Could go off the rails. Could really go anywhere. I'm your host, Drew.
All right, and my name is Noah Finley, and we are back with another episode of the Hypervision Podcast here. Just happy to be back. We have a special guest this week. I will let him introduce himself. It is my good friend, Alex Kaser. Alex, how we doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing well. So basically, I'll let Drew talk here for a little bit, but we're just kind of Alex he's been wanting to get on for a while, and I think it's another person where you really can't box him into a topic necessarily. So we're gonna kind of see how it flows and just go from there. So
yeah, Alex is one of Noah's friends that has berated me every single week to get on the podcast since we started. So he finally wore me down. He's here. But I'm excited for it. Alex is a fun guy. Pretty much never a dull moment when I've spoken to him. So hopefully the podcast lives up to that. Before we get into that, though, I'm gonna plug a little bit. We got our merch that came in, our Hypervision. This is a blue crew neck. The back of it got the little diamond on the back. The hoodie is somewhere else. I don't really want to get out of my chair at this point. I'm lazy. But we're gonna have a giveaway coming soon for one of these, and then the one black hoodie. So we'll have a giveaway for that once I figure out how to do that. We'll promote it like crazy, or not. I don't know. It's probably just going to be, like I said, Noah's friends that will be in the giveaway because they are the biggest consumers of this podcast. I think that's where I want to start with this is for Alex. Every single week I hear from like Noah or I hear from some of you guys, like thoughts of the podcast, everything like this. Like it's almost like within hours of it uploading, there's just a whole discussion. So I wanted to like get an idea of like how you guys view this podcast of like, is it like a big deal to you or is it just because like it's two of your friends that are doing it and so you're just supporting it?
I think it started off as just like, two friends and just supporting it. But like, I don't know. I see you guys actually like going hard. So it's like, I'm actually kind of like an actual big fan now. Like, I think it's a cool idea. It's obviously a popping thing nowadays. So I think it's the best thing to get into, honestly, with everything going on. So yeah, I enjoy them. I like them and I'm trying to keep up with them, but you guys are pumping them out. So
I've honestly fallen behind. I haven't listened to the last two.
I try to make it a habit of watching it every Thursday when it first comes out. But no, it's been great. I've liked how everybody's taking it. It's just something that's just fun. It's just fun to do. But no, it's been great to have everybody support it. So
I think it hit me today. It was like, I think it was what you said, Josiah said something, and it was like 8:00. Like it had been out for an hour, and he was already talking to you about it. I was like, wow, this is commitment. And I was like, and then my friends won't name the name, but one of them 2 weeks ago was like, so start your podcast yet? I was like, oh, all right. I'm 5 episodes in, but yeah. But no, I mean, it's good. It's always good to have support. I said in the first episode, I was like, if literally no one listens to this, I could care less. It's just a place for me to talk. But obviously, it's good to get some feedback. And so far, it's been positive. Besides Alex every week saying, get me on there. Thing is, I don't know where to take it with a topic with him. Like,
no, I think whatever, he's usually going to work or playing Xbox. So
actually, yeah, you said I think last time I talked to you, you said you were getting into welding or something, right?
I mean, yeah, it was just a job opportunity. I mean, I offered it, could have taken it, but I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to get used to work now, and I'm not hating it as much as I used to, but it's just an option I have. I don't know if I'll take it, but like it's just something on the table if I ever want to change career paths or, you know. But
Welding pays really good money. I know that. I took a class in high school, like a semester on it. The dude was talking about like all the stuff you can make off of like, especially like the underwater welding and all that stuff. But that's like you have to take tests like every single time you go back out on the job just because it's that intense. And if you mess up one thing, you're screwing everything up. But I sucked at welding. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just in there the whole time going like this, making giant beads. But it was fun.
yeah, I've actually never done it. Um, and the cool thing was just because it was my stepdad, so he knows a lot about it. So I would literally just learn from him and take a test and get certified for it, which is why I was super interested in it, just because, you know, I'm not a big school guy or like, you know, it's trade school. It's only 2 years, but that was just a really good opportunity. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever take it or not, but yeah, they make some pretty good money, and I don't know. Just right now, the hours would be even more than what I have. So I just, for now, I'm waiting. So
Let me ask you this: Have you ever thought? Have you ever thought about college by chance? I know we've talked a little bit about it, but I don't know. Like, I mean, maybe like a trade school, yeah. But like, have you ever thought about like a 4-year degree, maybe, or something like that?
um, I mean, I've thought about it,
Yeah.
but it's just I don't know. I'm not dumb, obviously. Like, you know, I didn't do great. I'm not, I didn't do great in school. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, I think it's because my lack of motivation. Just school to me just seems like, you know, I'm here, but I could just be out making money. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm just chasing the bag 24/7. That's just what it is. I
Certified
mean,
bag chaser.
exactly. Like I don't know. I really have thought about it, and you know, a couple months ago, I was actually like thinking like, oh, what could I do, this and that, but I don't know. I like to work. I'd rather work than go to school any day. Even though I hate my job, I'd still rather, you know, be there than in college.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. So then my next question would be, what do if you could have any like what's your dream job basically? That's what I'm trying to get at. What would you want to do? Do you have any like anything you really would want to get into?
Um, Honestly, not really anything in particular. Like I've never really had like, you know, like I like this job, so I'm like go to school for it. I've never actually had like a dream job. I've just been like, you know, I'm just gonna get out of school, I'm just gonna work. But I mean, I don't know. Like our buddy Desai, you know, he sells, you know, cars and stuff like that. I think something like that, or just like uh, being a realtor, like that stuff kind of interests me. But like, I'm not. I don't think I'm good at talking like that in terms of persuasion. So I just feel like I would be pretty poor at it. So I've never really dove into that. But if I did, that'd probably be it. Something like that.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you'd get at it. Honestly, I think you really have to just try it too, personally. But no. But you told me last night, or was it last night, a couple of nights ago? Some good news. You're moving out, living on your own now. So
Yeah,
congrats about that.
yeah. Thank you. I guess it's kind of myself. It's just me and my buddy. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really excited. And I mean, the whole reason I'm doing it is not just because, you know, I still live at home or whatever. Like, I mean, I still can do whatever I want here, but it's just, um, I'm just doing it for like the memories. You know what I mean? Because I mean, in 2 years, I won't be able to do something like this. So it's just, I got the opportunity. I was put in a good place with job, money wise. So I just thought, you know, why not? You know, go have fun. You know, and just see what happens.
Yeah. No, it should be fun. It's you can kind of compare it to somewhat of like a college life type of deal where it's like that was one of my favorite moments is just like living with your buddies is just awesome. So it should be fun.
So a lot of what I'm hearing from you right now is that like you kind of just want to just jump into whatever. And if you feel like that's what you want to do, you're just gonna go do it. Like you don't like if you like with like realtors, car salesman, stuff like that. Like if that's what you want to do, you might just go into it, and then taking the opportunity to go live with your friend while you can. Why not? Doesn't really seem like you like want to just all right, like let's get a huge plan, let's just follow it, stick to it, let's just go straight on. You want to kind of just be like, no, whatever happens, kind of happens.
Uh, I mean, yeah, you can say that. I don't like the job I've been working at. You know, I've been out of school for what, I don't know, 7, 8 months maybe now, and it's just been kind of like, work, eat, sleep, repeat. And I like to have goals set, certain stuff planned out because keep you organized, makes life a little bit easier. But I mean, right now I'm kind of just like, if something interests me, why not try it while I can? Jump into it, figure it out, and learn from it. If I make mistakes, whatever. I don't like. I'm 19, and it's not gonna really be that big of a deal if I make a huge mistake at this point in life. So I mean, I don't know. I just don't like to know what's gonna happen. I like to be surprised. I like to, surprise myself, stuff like that. I just trying to enjoy my life, doing whatever. You know what I mean?
I think that's awesome. It's a good thing to have, I think, especially with like the way the world works down at this point. Just being able to do whatever and have that thing just be like, you know what, I am just gonna go take this leap of faith and just do what I want to do. I think I've talked to Noah about it a little bit. Like, I mean, that's why we're doing this. That's why I do YouTube stuff on the side. Coach also. I told Noah earlier I want to try to make a video game. That within 2 hours has already failed miserably, I think. So we're not going to try that. But like, yeah, like why not while I can right now? I'm not always going to have these opportunities. Like eventually I'll have a family. It's going to take up a lot more time and stuff like that. I'll be older. I'll be lazier, maybe. I don't know. So why not while I have this opportunity? If I have the desire to go do something, I'm just going to go do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, I don't know. It's just like with stuff going on nowadays, it's just kind of like I feel like this is kind of the moment. You know what I mean? Just to explore. And I don't know. I've never really kind of like been in this position, really, like to where I can just go do whatever. I think the fact of me growing up is kind of really starting to hit right now, and like gonna move out, had to pay for bills and stuff like that, and I don't know. I think it's just gonna be a good experience, good life lesson, And when I do eventually, get married, whatnot, then I have that knowledge. I know what to do. I know what not to do. It's just something like that. It's just I don't know. I mean, with my job now, like I already feel like I'm already 30. You know what I mean? Because like like I work all day, come home, and I'm just like exhausted, and so it's just it's nice just kind of like throw something in a wrench of life just to mix it up,
Yep.
excitement, which can be a bad thing. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's always a good thing, like impulsive buying and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's calculated risk, and I'm just hoping for the best. Hopefully, we don't have a falling out and I have to get stuck with the rent. But whatever.
It's true. It's very, very true. Absolutely. Um,
But um, I forgot the word. What was it? Buying? I don't even. I can't remember now.
Impulsive?
Impulse. Impulse. That's the word. The impulse buying. That's a way of life almost. I think
You're
you have to
you're
live off
you're
of that.
you're talking to a person who doesn't mind doing it very often.
Oh, it's a daily thing. I bought 12 hoodies for no reason for this. Um, let's see what else. Let's see. What do you okay, so how often do you think you impulse buy things?
Um. Okay. I'll give an example. Um. So I like to play Xbox. Big gamer guy. And so for so long, me and Noah have talked about it. I just want to play one game. And that was Spider-Man, dude. I just wanted to try it, just at least swing through
Oh,
the city. I
yes.
mean, I've been dying for it, and it hasn't come to Xbox. And I was like, you know what? I got the money, so I just went out and bought a PS5. I already had.
This was like a couple weeks ago. Like actually.
Yeah, no, it was like 2-3 months ago. No, probably longer than that. It had been like probably.
Oh, I guess whenever you bought it, yes. Whenever you bought it, yes.
I think it had been like a couple months after I had just bought the new Xbox. so I literally had both brand new consoles. Weird flex, but and literally just to play one game, and played it for a little bit, maybe a total of 8 hours. Didn't even finish it. And I was like, I'm selling it. Sold it, and then I bought an Oculus. So that's what I got right now.
That seems like a win-win scenario right there.
So this man impulse bought a PS5, sold it, and then I don't know if it was impulse buy, but then bought an Oculus.
But he filled his one need that he had, which was to play Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I played the Oculus, and that thing is awesome. Like I want one.
Yeah,
it was definitely very impulse. I don't know, like it's just why not play with my money right now? You know what I mean? Like I have a lot of money saved up. It's like why I don't need to start saving now. I can start saving later. And I all in all I only lost like a couple $100, so it's like try new things. I mean, trying the hottest stuff. I just want to like be on top of stuff. I like to be in the loop.
You gonna get involved with Metaverse now that you have the VR stuff?
Don't even talk about that. I have no idea what that stuff is even about, to be honest. I mean, I have a general idea.
Yeah.
But nah, you won't catch me in the Metaverse.
I think eventually it'd be fun, but like when it's to the point where like you're like fully immersed, then I'll do it.
I don't know. I already get consumed enough with games as it is. If I can live a different life in another game, that's just not okay. I don't know. I think it's honestly not a good idea. I mean, with how things are nowadays, there's been a lot of lack of, workers and a lot of departments. I feel like this is just going to even take away even more. And not even just workers, just like, a lot of stuff, less business, less people is just, I don't think it's a good thing because people are just going to get obsessed with it and they're not going to get off of it. That's just my take on it. I mean, I see the good.
That's already happening. Yeah. So it's a pretty fair take to say.
Yeah.
With like trade school, I feel like, for the most part nowadays, for an actual job, trade school is easily the way you want to go. If you already have I think if you have a job idea in your head, trade school is probably what you should do. Because it's going to put you straight up in there. I never went to trade school. I don't know. Honestly, it's just from what I've heard of people talking about it. Because I feel like a lot of college is just proving that you can get a degree. Really, it's just proving you can accomplish those 4 years, however many years it is for you. And then just, getting some sort of work ethic or routine down. Whether it's healthy or not, it doesn't matter. But trade school, I feel like actually prepares you more for what you want to do. And it actually I think it probably gives you a little bit more hands-on experience. So that way you're like, oh yeah, I don't want to do this. Or you figure out that you have definitely gone down the right path or something like that. Because I feel like a lot of stuff in college, people are just kind of like, they get out they get out and then they're like, I don't really know what I do now. Like, I guess I'd look for a job with my major, but like a lot of what I'm seeing right now, a lot of the people that we graduated with aren't working in the industry that they went to they majored in and all that. Like there's a few guys we graduated for sport management that I'm seeing in sports. Like you're one of them. I just saw, I think Cody today working somewhere. I forget. It was some baseball thing. So that's one. There's a few people working in sports, but a lot of us aren't working in sports, and I'm one of them. I don't know. It just seems a lot like, I won't say college is a scam, but parts of it, kind of seem completely overrated for the price you pay also. I feel like trade school's a lot more bang for your buck.
Yeah. I mean, just to kind of go off that, Yeah, I would agree. I wouldn't say college is a scam. I feel like if you know, I mean, you put in the effort, you put in the hours. I mean, you get you get the piece of paper, but I understand where you're coming from. Where it's like, okay, you know, you're done. Now what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like that's a little bit on. I don't want to blame the college itself, and I feel like the person is a little bit responsible as well. But no, I understand. It makes sense that it's like, okay, now what? You're kind of you're really just thrown out into it, and it's like, okay, here you go. So yeah, and I agree. I don't understand, or I don't know the perspective of from a trade school perspective, but yeah, that could be more beneficial for some people.
Um, yeah, I think it really kind of based on obviously what you're going for, but like where we are, we have a school. It's a trade school, and you can go into it, junior senior year.
Oh
And
yeah,
I like people have gone there the junior year, started senior year, they already got a job. So I think like even if you go to like a normal trade school, you might not even have to go for those 2 years just because um, some of the jobs offered by those trade schools are so in demand right now that it's just like, you know, they see you're interested in something and they can see you have some skill in it. They're offering you a job because it's just like that's something a lot of people don't want to do nowadays, I feel like. And I feel like the shortage, it's so worth it to, go to trade school over college, at least at this point in time. Obviously, it depends on your passions and your dreams or whatever. But if you even have consideration for a trade school, I would do it in a heartbeat. Um, like if I didn't have the job I had, honestly, I'd go to a trade school for something, 100%.
I think another thing like I was gonna say with like all the like college and then post college and jobs is like nowadays 98% of jobs that are hiring for like entry level will train you no matter what. Like even if you have a sport management major, you get trained for the job you're going into in the sports world.
yeah,
Um, so it almost like you don't really need all of the background. It's an extra boost, I guess, to have that. Like training goes a little bit smoother probably. You have a leg up on training, but like most jobs will train you to do the job. They just want someone to work. So I feel
yeah,
like that's where, currently I think college is like kind of losing its stock in terms of like how high it was viewed to be able to like degree equals job, stuff like that. Not like masters and all that stuff and doctorates, obviously. You're getting the job that you want to get once you have that most of the time. Although I have seen a lot of crappy jobs recently. Like when I go on Twitter, sometimes they'll post like a require a master's degree and they're offering like 24,000 a year. And they're like, are you serious? 6 years for this?
yeah,
Uh,
right.
but yeah, I mean, above a bachelor's degree, you're probably getting something a little bit more prestige, and you're working like with masters and stuff. You're like working as you're doing school most of the time usually. Uh, so you're already getting the experience you need there at least. I feel like college is becoming more of an experience than anything else, just to say one, you did it, and two, like prove to yourself that you can do it. Because even on
Yeah,
like resumes, most of the time, I feel like who cares if you actually have a degree? Like when I got my first job out of college, um, they like I hadn't even graduated by the time they offered me the job. They didn't know my grades, anything like that. They were just like, "Oh, sport management major, you're applying. Yeah, cool, we'll take you." That was it.
yeah. I was always told like, hey, have good grades and whatnot. It's like I've never been in all the jobs that I've applied for, and even the job I have now. Like they never put any, at least to my knowledge, they put in little stock in like your actual grades or grade point average for that matter. It's like, oh yeah, you did this and this, and it's like, okay, so yeah, it's very interesting. But
Yeah, well,
I mean,
sorry.
no, it's fine. I was just to go off Drew's point. It's like, yeah, it's really now. It's just you're going to college more for the experience, and that's one thing that I think is very rare. It's something that people won't, everybody gets experience, and I'm happy that I did. Um, and I'm happy the people I met, all that stuff. But like the actual classwork itself, I've said this before. It's like it wasn't fun. Like at least like for the non-major stuff. I mean, the major stuff was all right, but like the actual classwork, like extracurricular, or not extra, or whatever they call them. I forget. Yeah. The gen eds, those just sucked. Like I just didn't like the writing course. It's like no, man. It's like
I took one math class freshman year, and after that, never have to take math again. Like there was no point. I barely ever did that homework.
Yeah.
Remember none of it.
So it's like, especially just going after 12 years of high school, or not high school, but 12 years of of elementary and all that. And it's like, dude, I'm just done. But I don't know.
Yeah, which I feel like is another kind of advantage for trade schools, because I'm not 100% on this, but I feel like most trade schools you go to, kind of depending on what you do, there's not many like core classes you have to take. It's mostly just straight, what you're going for, like welding per se. I feel like you go there for welding. I don't know that they do extracurriculars or like core classes. They might, but like it is like our trade school, Buckeye, they have extracurriculars, but half the day you are just doing straight, your whatever you're going for. Which I mean, I guess college you have your own classes and stuff too, but like trade schools, I feel like it's a lot easier work. Like especially from our school, I've seen some of the homework, and it's just like it's just simple stuff. I think they kind of refresh your mind, so that when you get into the workforce, like the simple stuff, because not all places are going to get super in depth in like math or like stuff like that. So that's why like if you don't have like a certain place or a certain job in particular, I think a trade school is definitely a nice thing to go to, if you're interested. But
See, saying all this, I don't think I would trade anything I did though for college, of going to college, where I went, and all that stuff. I think part of that probably comes down to me still not really knowing what I want to do for a job. So like I don't have a regret of picking sport management or anything like that. I'm more than happy that I did that. One, it was easy. It was very easy. And like sports is just what I've done my whole life. Why not try to stick in it somehow? Since I'm apparently not going to be a professional athlete. I think at 23 it's time to
Call it.
Yeah, when there's like 17-year-olds in Europe, or some 14-year-old just got signed to I can't remember what team, but some MLS team or something like that. So I think, it's officially time to
hang it up.
I'm not making it. Yeah. And I guess now the fact that I'm a high school coach, I truly have to accept it since I'm coaching and not playing.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this anymore. This took a dark turn for myself. I don't know, but like with that, like I wouldn't change what I did with college and all of that. I'm not against college at all. I think you do college if you want to do college, you do trade school if you want to do trade school, you skip both if you want to do that. It's up to you. Like you can legitimately do what you want to these days almost. Like we probably could get our podcasts like not like famous, but like I could probably get it out there more if I tried and I wanted to. I just post on Instagram and TikTok, and that's about it. And I don't really do anything else other than that. Like if I wanted to promote it, I would promote it more. But like if you want to go out and you want to get famous, like on TikTok, it's really not that hard to get TikTok famous. Probably like I got 10,000 views on a video where I just drink these, like sitting in this chair. It's not that hard, probably. If you just consistently work at it though, like kind of like Alex was saying with like trade school stuff, like you just got to consistently do the craft and all that stuff. It's not just kind of like a overnight thing. It's like if you're like, because now you have the opportunity. It's like YouTube literally exists, and you could probably go into any profession. You can learn to code in like probably 5 hours on YouTube. So if I wanted to make that video game, I could, but I don't want to have to learn all of that, because I don't want to learn coding and then just stare at ones and zeros all day. But I mean, the world's open to doing whatever you want now. What I think is the beauty of it. If you want to, you can do it. It just depends on how you feel. I think it was, I don't know if you guys heard of Molly May. She was on Love Island. She had a pretty viral podcast moment or an interview. It was like she's famous, she's rich, and all of this. I don't know
She
if her
hot?
yes, she was on Love Island.
There you go.
Yeah, which is the British.
Hey, some of us are down bad over here, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, it's all good. No, Love Island's like the British Bachelor or something like that. I think pretty much.
Oh, British. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, she was like, "Oh, everyone has the same 24 hours in the day. Like, if you shouldn't like have someone else better than you, pretty much, or like that, because we all have the same 24 hours." It got completely taken out of context, and it was really funny because she got a lot of backlash for it. Because like, obviously, everyone has different things going on and like different setups and backgrounds and all that. So sometimes, sometimes things aren't possible. But I think at the, like a sample size of that is true. Like if you have the opportunity, and more often than not you do these days, there's a good chance you can take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like what's super crazy nowadays is just like the whole, TikTok viral. Like, I mean, I don't know if you've seen, but they really have their own Netflix special, The Hype House or whatnot. I mean, these are like $1 million houses, $1 million cars, off TikTok, just dancing, and because they're good looking.
Yeah,
I mean,
that will always fascinate me, is how these people will never have to work a true day in their lives because they did dances on a social media app. It blows my mind. It will always blow my mind. It's insanity to me, insane. But I guess that's just how the world is. It's a very digital world, and I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those things too that Drew and I talked about. It's like kind of hitting that that viral moment at the right time. Like we talked about Ninja with Fortnite. Peak Fortnite. Stuff like that, or the peak of like YouTube. It's like try and grow on YouTube now. Yeah, you probably could, but it's like, man, it's gonna be pretty difficult unless you actually know somebody to get like, 1 million plus subscribers. You know what I mean? It's just interesting, but yeah, that's crazy.
I think now, like a lot of people just like they'll go on a stream, something like that, look at it and be like, okay, I think I can do this. Stream like 2 times, 3 times, think it's gonna work out or something like that, and within like a month they've given up because like they have 20 followers or something like that, and they just assume, oh, if I stream I'll get famous. Like people just click on it all day long, like blah blah blah. But I think what a lot of people don't really realize with that stuff is like those people that are like famous now that you're seeing that have 10, 20, 30, 40,000 people watching them every time they're live, they've been streaming for 7 or 8 years now, probably. Like they were once in those shoes where you're sitting there with 1 viewer and it's yourself.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like they work out every day, they promote themselves. Like I was talking about a little bit with like, if I wanted to, I could probably get this podcast a little bit bigger, but just doing whatever you can, streaming as much as possible, always being there, like doing good content. Like I think you got to find the balance of like quality and quantity. If you can do both at the same time, that's insane. But that's also when you're easily going to run into the people now that like were famous in the early YouTube days and everything, and you haven't heard about them since probably like 2015 because they just got burnt out. Yeah. I think that's the part where I'll be like you said, like, oh, they don't have to work a day in their lives technically because like they're doing videos their entire life. I'd say TikTok's easier than YouTube probably. It's a 15-second video where you just click that. Now I will say the dances are probably really hard, but again, I've mentioned this 3 or 4 times. I have no rhythm, so probably say it like that. But
I don't know. From my perspective, it's just weird because it's like. It's like whenever I think of work, I think of, all right, you're going to work, man. You're, hard physical labor. It's like these, early 20, early 20-year-olds, late teenagers just dancing, just making it's just like I don't know, it's just crazy.
We're getting into it these last couple weeks.
It's been good.
Nah,
Been
it was
really
it was
good.
yeah.
I've kind of liked it. I've kind of liked getting, a little more real, Um I think it's something that we don't people like friends don't talk about much, you know. I know whenever Alex, whenever you guys were over here a couple weeks ago, I know we kind of talked like it was super late at night, but we were talking about life, and it was awesome. I I think it's good to talk about that every once in a while. I don't
Would
know.
you say that's more down to the fact that now that we're being, I don't know, technically forced to grow up and mature a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's some of it. But I just feel like too, it's like, I want to see my friends succeed, too. I want to make sure they're if they ever need, someone to talk to, it's like, hey, you're like I'm your friend, but like, dude, like I'll talk to you. Like if you ever need to talk about like, real life, deep stuff, like hey, like I'll be here for you. I feel like it's some of that too. And and I just think in general it's just always good to check in, every once in a while. Like I said, you really don't get to talk about it that much. So whenever you get the chance to, talk about life and on like a deeper level, I think it's always a good conversation. So I don't know, that's my thoughts on it.
I think it's like kind of how we talked about last week. It's almost like, um, it's different for everyone. Like sometimes, someone really wants that deep talk. Like people like, we all know the people. Like Andrew, for like the guy I'm gonna eventually live with. He's in Europe right now. Um, he's all into like if he'll have a deep talk whenever he can. Like he just loves talking to people and like getting to know them and all this stuff. Like he posted one yesterday of him in Denmark right now. Um, he's just been like couch surfing with people. Like there's people he just like because there's like Yes Theory. I think they're on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know if you
Hmm.
know them,
Yeah.
but they're like I guess big into just like saying yes and doing things, which is a big reason why I think Andrew just went to Europe for whatever reason. But he's like he's staying in Denmark right now. And I think yesterday's was like he's staying on some person's couch. She went to work. And she was out of the house the entire day, and she just trusted Andrew there, like complete stranger from America, to just
This is what he's doing, really. He's literally
yeah,
couch surfing.
yeah. There's like a Discord, I think, or something like that, and they're like all in there, and he's just like going couch to couch most of the time with people.
Is he vlogging this? Like, is he documenting this
Yeah, yeah. He's
basically?
putting a daily thing on Instagram and TikTok every day of like
Okay.
stuff he records and everything. Because that's where I'm keeping up with all of it.
Okay.
Like yeah, that video yesterday was like he was like it's crazy. Like if you're like scared to like like of like strangers like going on trips, he's like honestly don't be like he's like people really just for the most part are just nice and they want to help. Like when he came downstairs, he took a video of it. She had like a whole like plate laid out for him, a cup and everything, and she had like breakfast made, and she wasn't going to be back at all while Andrew was there. Um, so yeah, and then almost every other night he's been like a lot of nights he's been like, oh, I didn't record last night because like he records the whole day, and then he's like, all right, time to go meet my couch surfing guy, and he's like, yeah, I didn't end up recording much last night. I just talked to the guy that I'm staying with, just talked about life, like he's been like 40 countries, something like that. It's like Andrew loves those conversations. And like there's always a lot of people that like that. Um, but I feel like, it's finding what everyone else, kind of wants. Like for some people, it might just be like like when you guys hung out this past weekend or whatever. It could just be like the fact that you guys hung out, like just being there with your friends in that moment might just be enough for them. Um, so yeah, I think it's important to, find that stuff and then, be able to actually, do that. It's important to have the moment with your friends and cherish that a little bit, I think. Because like, I mean, it's tough to think about it ever, but it's like you never know when it's gonna end. doesn't have to be like a dark reason. It's just like, they might move. Like with Ian, he lives in Texas now. Like I haven't seen him in years. Um, Trying to. We'll see. Now that I have more free time, we'll see. But like, yeah, you just never know. Like when like I would hang out with Ian every single week. Um, when he lived here, but now I haven't seen him in like 4 years or something. But
Yeah.
just cherishing the time you have with them, and then making memories.
Yeah, I think kind of like I'm just gonna jump into this. Like, I feel like nowadays, kind of like with my generation, you guys, I feel like now you see a lot more like depression stuff, a lot of stuff like that. Not to dive too dark here, but like I don't know. I feel like kids, my age and stuff like that, it gets tough. It does. I don't know what it is. Maybe just with everything going on, COVID stuff like that. Like after my senior year, I was kind of really just thrown into like life. You know what I mean? Like I feel like with college, obviously you still have responsibilities and stuff like that, but it almost feels like you're still in school a little bit. Parties and stuff. It's a big college. Like with me, I went, straight to work, like responsibilities right away, be there in time, do this, do that, money situations. And I don't know, like for me, I'm honestly glad that I didn't go to college and I just went straight into this, just thrown in life because it's kind of exciting. It gets overwhelming a lot. It does, which is why, I kind of went off with Noah. And yeah, I think it's super important just to have someone there to talk to just with anything you're going on with. I mean, I had a buddy say a quote one time. It was like, people compare their problems to other people, but to them it could just be a lot worse, if that makes sense at all. Like you could say like I'm struggling with school and this and that, and this other person could be like struggling with like family and stuff like that. When you compare problems, I think that just that doesn't help. It's different for everybody. I feel like anything can be somebody's main problem. Like I'm trying to make sense of this, but it's just, you know, I I feel like a big problem now is comparing each other, like with this whole TikTok thing. Like for a lot of reason the big TikTokers blow up is because, they got a pretty face, they got a nice body, stuff like that. And I feel like, a lot of like even, girls nowadays, a lot of girls like to, do stuff on TikTok. I feel like nowadays, like girls our age are like, she's so pretty, like, I'm so ugly and stuff like that. And I feel like that's where a lot of this, depression, this sadness, this like, um, you know, just because people compare it to each other, like social media, I feel like has really taken over. And, whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But I know, like, I've heard a lot of stuff, like, especially, women and men comparing to someone else that's prettier or more successful or has more money. I feel like it's such a focus nowadays to, like compete, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I feel like to talk to people and kind of just break it down with each other, it it really helps get through stuff and see the better side of things. And yeah.
No, that's the social media thing of like with comparison. That's big. I think that's a big reason why I think me and Noah just try to keep it real with this podcast. Like we're not like we came in and told you we literally have no plan. It's just whatever's going to come out of our mouth is going to come out. But like with social media nowadays, um, it is mostly it's not fake, but like it is very one-sided. Like it's mostly the good stuff. Like some people like there's Finstas and stuff like that where people complain and show all the bad side of what's happening in their life like that. But for the most part, like social media is they show the good things, and that's where like those comparisons come in of like, oh, this person went to Italy, they posted a picture there, oh, they went to this game, they went to this event, they went to this thing, they're doing this, they're hanging out with this person. I was at home the last 3 weekends, like those comparisons. I mean, there's no point. Like they're not showing what's going on in their life. You could be doing great things the whole time during that. It's just that you're not going to some club or something like that with like some person that's
Exactly.
popular.
Exactly.
Like you
And
said, like
that's
if it's, I don't know if that's good or bad, like if social media is good or bad technically. I think personally, social media done the right way is like some of the best stuff that you'll ever experience in your life. Like there's so many great memories or so many great moments that you've realized that have come through social media and stuff like that. Like there's just like, you know, like if you're on Twitter, there's so many great things you can see of like just people doing the right thing or doing good things for other people for no reason at all. It's just that like you would have never known about that if social media didn't exist. You can find causes that you want to support, stuff like that, like campaigns that people do. Um, you can find people you want to follow that make videos and stuff like that that help people, you know, without social, like that's like the good side of social media. Then there's like the Jake Paul side kind of. Sorry, no, I know you've started to not hate him, but I'm gonna go at him a
eh,
little bit. He
okay.
that side of like, you know, that kind of guy of like it's all about him. And I mean, he's for what who he is and what he is, he's doing an amazing job. Like
Yeah, I mean, it works. It works.
if he's gonna be able to offer someone 50 million for a fight, I can't really sit here in my parents' house and say, oh, he's not doing that. He should be doing like he's doing good. But like he's caused a lot of crap of social media stuff, you know, like toxic stuff. And that's where I kind of just start to just ignore social media. Like I barely read comments anymore on Instagram or like replies on Twitter for the most part, just because there's no point. Like it's just
Ratio.
toxic ratio L, like make good music, something like that. Like, oh, no one cares, you fell off, stuff like that. Like
Mid.
it's funny, you know, like in ironic stuff, it's funny, but like when people are doing like real things and like actually trying to do stuff, it's I don't know. It gets boring. It's a little outdated. I don't know.
I totally agree. Totally agree. But you know, there's the fine line though, where you're like, going back to Instagram and like basically where it's just like all you're doing is like flexing what you have, you know. But where's that fine line where it's like almost like a what I say sometimes is a humble brag, if that makes
That's
any
my
sense.
Instagram.
You know,
That's
I
my
don't know.
Instagram.
It's
Well, see, I don't know. I guess it depends on what you personally want to get out of Instagram or social media stuff. Like, do you want to post it to be like in the mindset of like, all right, if I post this, these people will think I'm cool, stuff like that, you know, stuff like that. Or
yeah.
it's
I
just like
mean,
if it could be as simple as like, oh, I did this, I want to share with my friends. And you don't want to have to go text all of them or something like that. It's out there. They can go look it up if they want. But like, I would say there's no selfless way to really post something on social media. Like even like I said, like the people that go out and do like good deeds, if like they donate to people and stuff like that. Making a video on it, you know, like still it's almost putting it out there. Like one, I mean, like the good side of it is it raises awareness. People know about it, they see it, they want to do it. So that's the good side of it. But then also like, you know, do it off camera for the most part if that's really what you want to do. Like, because for the camera you can put on a show. It happens all the time. We see it with people that are like that you see in social media all day long. You're like, oh, this person's a great person. They're good on camera. They can edit. They can edit out the things they say that are bad. Like they do good deeds. They probably got paid. And then all of a sudden it comes out they're a crappy person.
Oh, you're not a big David Dobrik fan?
I actually never
oh,
watched David Dobrik,
I actually haven't either.
Really?
but I know he's been in his fair share of cancels. So, but I honestly don't know why. I never kept up with him. I never really paid attention too much to like the U.S. scene of influencers.
Yeah. I feel like the whole David thing is more just like he just got what do you say excessive, and someone got hurt, so that's kind of why he was getting canceled for that. And which I could throw in like he's given like a lot of cars and stuff to his friends, like nice cars and stuff like that. But every time it's recorded, you know what I mean?
Right.
So or it was sponsored, and that's cool and all, like for your friends and whatnot. But like I feel like at that point it's more just for entertainment than like actually like trying to be a good person, stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, like it could be genuine, and they just wanted to show people, but I don't know. It's just stuff like that kind of like gets me like eerie of it. But
Like with you saying like the excessive thing, I think that's where social media it has its darkest side is like nowadays everybody and just in any sense of like what you do, everyone's just like, all right, what's next? What's next? I gotta go higher, I gotta go better, I gotta do this. Like everything I've got to do has to be the best or do it better than what I could do before. So I feel like that's where like a lot of YouTubers why they get burnt out, or they will just push past that line and then they do something like, do something excessive, someone gets hurt. I don't know. Something bad happens usually with that stuff. Which is where go back to our last week's episode, find balance, find the balance. You don't have to push yourself to the edge every single time. It's okay to, take a day off. You don't have to worry about it sometimes.
And now we have Nick Smithy and White Claw Gabe to take their place.
White Claw Gabe, I know. I don't know the Nick Smithy.
White Claw Gabe is always a video away from getting canceled.
Yeah.
You can't really help it, I guess. For the most part.
Nick Smith, I think it's Nick Smithy, isn't it, or something like that? I don't know. He's the dude that I'll send you some videos. He just does like screams.
Oh, that guy.
Like,
yeah.
Like perfectly cut like screams, but it's like it sounds like a freaking eagle. It's pretty funny.
I gotcha.
But
see, and that's another good side to social media, if you want. Like, the whole memes. Memes are kind of like, I feel like nowadays, I mean, you still see them, but like they really blew up and, everybody thought it was funny. Like you can say like Vine and stuff like that. Like I feel like that was really good. I feel like that was a really good platform. I mean, I feel like back then there was not so much, thirst traps and, weird shit like that. But like just this pure like trying to make people laugh. I feel like it's such a good mindset or like a good social media thing, to have. I feel like just you could have a bad day, hop on Vine and you just laugh. I feel like that's a very good time, like to help people out. I feel like if I was a super sad little boy at that time and I hopped on Vine and I don't know, I like the meme stuff when it doesn't go too far. Obviously I might still laugh at some edgy memes, but but yeah, I don't know. I like, because I guess for me, like, I just like to make people laugh. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it brings me more joy to see people laugh than if I just, was joyful. I feel like I just like to spread, just laughter. I feel like it's such a contagious and a good thing to have. So I don't know. I feel like that's why I make so many jokes or just try to be as funny as I can. I don't know.
Always good to have that one around.
absolutely.
So we're gonna wind it down a little bit. And the way we always do that is we just jump into sports because that's easy. So no, you're outnumbered finally. All right. We already had the 2 Browns fans on. Now it's 2 Packers fans.
Let's go.
I'll talk about Packers. Let's do it.
What do we think Aaron Rodgers is doing? I saw today that there's a large belief he's staying.
Okay.
I think. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so from what I've seen, but most of these are like Packers fan page, so I don't know how credible they are. But I have seen some positive stuff, like with the front office working with Rodgers and trying to come to a good deal. And I heard it's been going well. I don't know. His last post, I think it was, had a picture of Green Bay guys and had this big paragraph, and that concerned me. It really did sound like he was gonna.
I honestly think that's just like Aaron is such a weird guy. Like I think him posting that made me believe he was actually going to stay, just because I think he's trying to just push so hard that like he's just a weird guy. I feel like it meant almost absolutely nothing.
He went on the Pat McAfee show and talked about it. and basically it was just like an end of the year thing, pretty much. And he talked about Devontae Adams and that one photo where he's usually always in the middle of Devontae and Randall Cobb for the national anthem. And like that one photo, like it hit him like pretty hard, where like he couldn't be there for that one game that he missed with COVID. And basically he posted that those couple pictures after he came off of a 12-day some sort of cleanse. He did some like weird
immunization.
I don't know. There's some cleanse, like it was like meditation and like this like body thing, and it was like it was crazy. So yeah. But me personally, I think he is staying.
Mhm.
I think the best chance for him to win is by staying. In my opinion, I think if they can work out a deal with Devontae Adams, I feel like that's his best option is to stay in Green Bay. Personally,
I think if one stays, they both stay.
I would think so.
Yeah, very much so. I feel like if Aaron really did retire or leave, I just don't. I feel like it would just all start to crumble. Really, I really do. I think Adams is going to want out because I mean, who's going to catch passes from Jordan Love? No, come on. I mean, I just and I feel like if Adams leave, Aaron Jones is on the way out, and I just feel like it's just a rebuild from there. I feel like Aaron Rodgers is a very key person in that team that kind of holds everybody together. I mean, I don't know. You never know. If he did retire, Jordan Love could take the reins and ball out, but I just don't see it. I really don't. And yeah.
See, after the loss to that one team I won't mention this year, I was almost happy if we had a rebuild. I mean, it's like we've been blessed technically. Like one, I mean,
yeah, you've been blessed. Yes, you've had it's like 0 quarterback turnover. You've been blessed with Brett Favre, and then right after that, Aaron Rodgers. Like what?
Yeah, I say the technically because like there's just so much pain in all of those championship losses of just like finishing top 2 seeds. Like
that's true.
Just to get blown out at home, like
that's true.
That's the pain, but it's different pain, I guess. At least like we get there, but then like if you're not even gonna put up a challenge, there's no point. I feel like at least.
Yeah, I feel like you can compare it to the Browns. It's like, would I rather be in the Packers spot where like I at least make it but lose, or I'd rather be in the Brown spot where it's like they never usually make it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, I understand.
But no, like I'm almost like if we go into rebuild, I'm not gonna hate it. I'll actually embrace it. Like it's like the moment we go into rebuild, everyone's expecting us to turn into the Lions pretty much. Like Jordan Love is believed by nobody probably, besides maybe himself, I hope. That's all that really matters technically. Adams will leave. I love Lazard. He'll be like a wide receiver 1, and he's not a wide receiver 1. He is the best receiver in the league, but like our receiving core it'd be even worse because Randall Cobb's gonna leave. They only brought him back because Rodgers wanted his best friend in town. And as much as I know you love Randall Cobb, he's like 52. So he's going to retire if Aaron leaves probably.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't mind rebuild. I really don't. I know it sounds like I hate on it, but it's just I feel like I'm not good with that. Like that change. It's going to be so uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah, it would be the weirdest thing to see if it always, since what, 2008, 7? I forget his first year. I don't know. Whatever. Early 2000s, mid 2000s. It's been Aaron Rodgers. Wins the Super Bowl in 2010. Never goes back.
Hasn't back since.
He beat the Steelers though, so.
That is true.
Yes, sir.
And then before that, Brett Favre and everything. It obviously be weird to be like, oh, we're not almost guaranteed a 10+ win season for once. The only times I know that happens is when Aaron Rodgers, gets sacked and breaks his knee or something like that. And then we finish,
collarbone.
Yeah. And then we go into overtime with the 0-16 Browns.
Yes,
That was
sir.
the Packers without Aaron Rodgers. They go into overtime with a team that didn't win a game.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go man.
Because I kind of experienced it like as being a Chelsea fan these past couple of years. Hazard was their best player for the longest time. He carried them for a lot of years. He then left. He also left in the same year they were transfer banned because they, fiddled with some money and some transfers of the youth academy. So they got transfer banned for an entire season, and we lost our star player. So I was like, well, this is it. And it was a manager, like it was his second year managing, like in professionals, first year with the team. So he was pretty much forced to use the youth academy and a couple other players that shouldn't have been around there, but they had to keep them because they literally couldn't bring anyone in. It was like the first couple months of it was really, really tough, but then you kind of like, I guess this depends on how well the rebuild goes. Sometimes rebuilds do just turn into the Jaguars and stuff and the Jets and all of that. But I don't know. A lot of the times it's something that you can just really, really embrace. It's just seeing like no one believes it. You start from the bottom and you just rise all the way to hopefully to the top. And Chelsea did. They won the Champions League. So
Yeah. So we got Combine happening right now.
Oh, I saw Olave ran like a 4.2.
Yeah, and then there was a receiver from Baylor, something Thornton, who ran a 4.21. So, yeah, pretty insane. So you have that through the draft in April, and then yeah, man, kicking it off.
Who's got first pick?
Do what?
Who's got first pick?
Somehow the Jaguars.
Yes.
They won their last game against the Colts, knocked them out of the playoffs, and they would have then lost the number 1 pick, but the Lions decided to beat the Packers in Week 18 and not get the number 1 pick. So I don't know.
So who's going number 1? What are we thinking?
It's going
like an edge, right?
It's either going to be an edge or for the Jaguars, it's more than likely going to be an offensive lineman.
Yeah, that's probably needed.
More than likely. I wouldn't be surprised. There really isn't a quarterback this year I guess the Jags don't need a quarterback, obviously, but there isn't a quarterback that really screams like, I need him.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see. But I'm super pumped. I love draft. It's awesome. So I'll be intrigued either way.
There's still 2 quarterbacks projected for first round, right? Is it Pickett?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
so Malik Willis from Liberty is probably gonna get picked first round. Pickett will probably get picked first round, and I guarantee you there'll be other ones. I mean, the quarterbacks, they always fly up boards.
Basically,
everyone
thinks the quarterback saves the team. And, they can, obviously, but
yeah.
Then you see the teams led by defense that make all the way to the NFC Championship, AFC Championships. When the Jaguars made it, they had Blake Bortles. Niners have Jimmy Garoppolo, and they've gone very far a lot of the times. They made a Super Bowl.
I think right now we're kind of just waiting for the QB dominoes to fall. Like what happens with Rodgers. Does Russell Wilson want out? What other quarterbacks bigger names? I'm blanking.
Allowed to play.
Yeah, Watson's another one. I think we're kind of waiting to see like what happens there, and then I guess that'll happen hopefully either before or during like free agency time, and then those quarterbacks that are draft eligible will probably slot in up or down depending on if any big quarterback makes a change or whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see. It's always interesting, but yeah, we'll see. It's the only thing really happening right now. You have basketball happening, and then the MLB probably isn't going to play. So
I saw they canceled the first 2 series for MLB.
Yeah, so basically that's pretty much a big joke happening on over there. The owners and the players just can't agree on an agreement. So
I feel like that's really
when that'll happen.
Yeah, I feel like this is really hurting the MLB though, because I feel like for the most part, maybe it's just because I go to Cincinnati Reds games and there's like 15 people at all those games pretty much. But I feel like for the most part, the MLB is kind of dying off as like a top sport in America, at least. I think it's slowly losing popularity every year. And I think this happening is definitely going to hurt it a lot if it keeps like this. Because you're not really going to pick up any new fans the more you hear about a lockout, like because all the big head people are just gonna be like, oh, just go play your game. You're already making a ton of money, blah blah blah. Like
Yeah.
like that's not gonna help. Like, but I mean, NFL had a lockout. It's had a huge bounce back, I think, because I think for there was a little lull period for the NFL.
Yeah.
But I think it's back up to a
Yeah, it's back up. Those ratings this year were insane. I don't know if you ever looked at the ratings from like regular season, but also like the playoffs in general. The ratings were like insane. Like it was insanity.
I think COVID might play
yeah.
into that a little bit. People are just now that things are back, everyone's just like, I'm just gonna do whatever I can now. Going to all the sporting events they can, watching everything they can. Well, like because.
So interesting.
Yeah. So I just want to kind of side piece for a second. In terms of like COVID, like I just want to kind of get you guys' thoughts on it. Because for me, around my town, I feel like it's not. I feel like it's still like a danger. Obviously, my job still kind of takes it a little serious. But like in terms of enforcing like masks or stuff like that, I feel like it's kind of dying away. Do you guys think it might come back? Do you think it might just stay about this medium that it's at, or what do you guys personally think about that?
I feel like with how heavy everyone hit on it, there's almost no chance of you just acting like it was never there and like it just being gone. Like everyone always said, like, oh, the world's officially changed forever now, like with how intense everything was. For the most part, people are kind of acting like they don't talk about it, like whatever. It's just like COVID happened. But like I'm going to California in like a week, and like my parents saying like, oh, make sure you have like a vaccine card, stuff like that, because like they're gonna require you to have that to go into places. Like California is like going heavy on that and everything, like mask mandates and everything. I think I guess it just depends by area if they have more cases against or something like that. I don't know, and I guess California is a little bit more progressive, the word maybe, where they are a lot more up to date on like social trends and stuff like that, and like being good in the public eye. So that's probably part of it.
Yeah, I agree.
I would love for that.
Yeah, I don't know if you watched. I didn't watch the full thing, but President Biden's State of the Union address a couple nights ago.
I did not.
He touched on COVID a little bit. To me, it sounded like we've beaten it, not fully, but like it's it's a lot less lenient, or more lenient than it has been in the past. New York, one of the bigger places, is reducing or getting rid of their mandate. And that was a pretty big deal, especially in the sports world. For Kyrie to be able to play home games, so they're kind of switching that. I still think I think it's just something that now it's like, okay, yeah, I don't think we're necessarily ever going to beat it, but I just think it's going to be part of like everyday life now, where it's like, okay, yeah, someone's going to have it, but hopefully it gets to a point where it's like, it's not as ever serious as it once was, where we're literally shutting down like the country almost. But no, I feel like definitely finally you can see some light potentially at the end of the tunnel, which is nice. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, about 2 minutes left, so that's good timing, honestly. This is gonna be a long one.
It's all good. It's always good, a good conversation.
Yeah.
I just want to get some final thoughts in here real quick. Actually, I remember it down real fast. Yeah, basically, I just want to say, thanks for Alex for coming on. I like to talk about, I like having the time to talk. Um, it's always a great time. I just enjoy talking. Honestly, I've gotten to really enjoy talking to people. Life is so fast paced nowadays. It's like, um, it's always nice to sit down, for an hour and just kind of like think and talk to people that are your friends or stuff like that. Um, and I'm a big nostalgia guy. I love talking about memories and stuff like that. I'd love to have an episode where we just like talk. Well, I guess we kind of did with Tyler, just talk about memories. But I know there's a lot of stuff that we've done in like Cake Squad that I would just like to like talk about. But yeah, I know it's been great to just have this platform to do what we do. And again, we appreciate Alex for coming on. Definitely have to have him on again here pretty soon. So
Got like 20 seconds, so I'm gonna cut in and close it out.
yeah, sorry I took some time.
You're good. Yeah, again, thanks Alex coming on. It's always good to talk about this stuff. We're gonna have the merch thing, the giveaway coming up soon. So keep your eye out for that. I'll try to actually promote that pretty well. Other than that, thanks for listening, and we will see you next week. Peace.